I'm Nito the Genty G and welcome to Raging G. Today we're going to talk about a monumental comic created by Frank Miller. It was created in 1998 and it was a 5-issue miniseries. Inside, it had a story of the Spartans versus the Persians in the Battle of Thermopylae, aka 300.
It was written and drawn by Frank Miller and colored by his wife at the time, Lynn, Varley. As I said before, the story is based on the Battle of Thermopylae, with King Leonidas of Sparta fighting Xerxes the Great, the king of the Persian Empire. It's a historical battle with the Persians invading and trying to conquer Greece.
So, I don't want to delve into the historical inaccuracies of this comic, because I'm not a person used to learn this history from. Because if it was me, you're going to learn that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Xena were a key factor in defeating Nobunaga Oda and Luffy, king of the pirates.
The story is simple. It shows King Leonidas with 300 men fighting the unknown and mystical forces of Xerxes. I don't want to spoil the ending of this because I will say it from the beginning, you need to read this comic. It's a small one. We see how the Spartans grow up, how Xerxes' messenger demanded from King Leonidas to surrender or they will be annihilated. And it shows how in response, Leonidas took 300 men to go and fight his forces. We see them fight, how they managed to overtake Xerxes' forces with many brilliant tactics, with the latter starting being afraid of the strength of these 300 men, and it shows who was the victor at the end. 300 is filled with many moments of manliness, epicness and braveness, and how people fight with their soul behind a shield, a spear and a sword, and the designs reflect that. They have the characteristic, distinctively controversial art style of Frank Miller. Each page has a ton of details and it shows that Miller took his time with each page, making each character unique. You won't find copy-pastes in this. There is a little bit of nudity for people who do care about those things, but nothing to rave about. Because this comic is comprised of only splash pages, it allows for many wider shots and it creates many dynamic moments and important shots with the detail art in combination with the amazing panel work that has a great flow and guide the reader's eye from dialogue box to dialogue box. Miller also uses smaller panels, but keeps them for some comedically relaxing and moments that need to go by quickly. The coloring is also amazing. The use of color in this reflects the importance of each shot and each character. I do love when there are black panels with heavy shadows and showing just the red capes and the unity of the Spartans, the gold chains of Xerxes or the blood spilling from bodies, showing the death and ruin of the many. Lastly, this book doesn't contain a lot of spoken dialogue. It's mostly thought boxes and descriptions, and the spoken one is short and concise. Everything is well written, and again, it allows for the story to move quickly with many good moments.
Unfortunately, I don't have many other things to say about this. It's a small book, with a simple story, with great art, and a sprinkle of dialogue.
So, I want to talk about the 2006 movie based on this book by Legendary Pictures from Zack Snyder. Yes, before he made the DCEU movies, one of his big successes was 300, and yes, it was controversial, with many people loving it and others hating it. It did well in the box office, and when it comes to faithfulness to the source material, it nailed it. It took a lot of line, direction and moments straight from the book. The action was great. The performances were also filled with passion, and it had many dynamic scenes with an epic soundtrack. Watching the movie and comparing scenes of it with the comic was great. There was a sequel in 2014, 300 Rise of an Empire, and this year Frank Miller released a sequel comic, Xerxes, The Fall of the House of Darius. My first impression in the comic sequel was that the art is worse than the first one, and the story has many similarities with the sequel of the movie, but it's not complete yet, with only a few issues released at the time of this review, so I can't say for sure if it's better or worse.
And that was all for this episode. Kinda short, but I don't have many things to say about the 300. It's a great book and you should definitely give it a look. As always, I'm NTG, and until next time, keep reading. As you can see, this is a small shitty thing I made just for this thing. And again, if you like this episode, don't forget to subscribe, share it with all your friends because that helps tremendously. and I'm going to see you on the next episode. Also, I hope you enjoyed the new name, Casual Panels. Share it again with all your friends. See ya!